Hi everyone, and thanks again for joining me today. Today we'll be talking a little bit about the circle of fifths. Okay, so let's now start talking about the circle of fifths. I have here in front of us two diagrams of the circle of fifths. The one on the left here, which looks pretty complicated, is actually the most useful, but that's because it has a lot of information. Since many of you may be new to this, let's concentrate instead on this one. So let's close this one and leave this open. Okay, so circle of fifths implies a circle, and to be sure, here is our circle. Now we're going to divide the circle excuse me, into 12 equal parts. Why 12, you may ask? Well, let's look for a moment at the notes in our music system. If we were to go from C to C, we'll see that there are actually 12 individual tones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and the last one has the same name as the first one. So that's 12 individual notes. We'll divide this into 12 pieces. We're going to start at the very top with C. C, the key of C major rather, is our simplest key. It has no sharps and no flats. So let's start with C, as we said. Now, as we decide where to go, as far as indicating the next stop on our circle, it says G here. Why G? Well, it is called circle of fifths. You may recall from our previous videos what a perfect fifth is. Let's check it out. So we started here. We're going to go up a fifth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is in fact a G. So that will be G. To go to our next stop, we're going to go up another perfect fifth from there. Let's check that out. Going from a G to the next one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're now on a D. We went from a G to a D. Now if we keep going 1/5 at a time, we're going to end up making our way all the way around until we finally, after a number of those jumps, end up at another C. It would of course be way the heck off in this direction on our keyboard. Let's go back to the beginning. C. As we go up, up implies sharp. So as we go from C to the next stop, we're going to add 1 sharp to our key signature. So the key signature of G will add 1 sharp. Okay, and that of course will be F sharp. As we go from G to D, we're going to add 1 more sharp. And you can see that will be C sharp. And so it goes. If we were to go the other direction, let's go back to our starting point, C. If we were to go in the flatting direction, so to speak, we would go down a fifth. Let's check that out just for the fun of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Going down a fifth from C brings us to F. And we add 1 flat. That flat will of course be B flat. If we continue in that same direction, let's take a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A perfect fifth down from F natural brings us to B flat. And there we are. We already started with the B flat here, and we're going to add another flat, E flat, to our key of B flat major. If we continue going in that same manner this direction, we'll go down 1 perfect fifth to E flat, we'll add another flat, in this case A flat, and so on. Now, as we get to the bottom of the circle down here, it starts to get just a little bit confused. Let's see what we've got. Well, on this side, let's say we made it all the way up to the key of B major, and we have our 5 sharps there. If we were to go up 1 perfect fifth from B, we'd end up on an F sharp, and we'd have 6 sharps in our key signature. However, in our equal temperament, F sharp, as you can see down here, F sharp is going to be the same as G flat. So the key of G flat will have 6 flats, and that will be enharmonic. That means it sounds the exact same as our key of F sharp, 6 sharps. Okay. If we wanted to get really complicated, and we can see that in our other diagram, which I will try to bring up if I can. I'll do that later. You'll see that D flat is the same as C sharp, So on this spot on our wheel or our circle, we could in fact say that this is the key also of C sharp and would have 7 sharps in it. Okay, so that's kind of a quick overview of our circle of fifths. Let's see if we can't bring up that other diagram. Okay, here's our original diagram. It has the same key signatures and key indicators as we'd indicated in our other diagram, but this gives additional information. For example, let's go back to our starting point, C major. C major is the relative to A minor. That is to say, the minor scale that has no sharps or flats is A minor, and that will be shown in this inner wheel. The minor keys that corresponds to the outer rim's major keys. Okay, this one will also tell us how many sharps and how many flats and so on. And remember the overlapping key signatures we talked about here. Remember the overlapping key signatures we talked about earlier. Those are indicated here as well.
Here's another pretty cool thing. As we know, when we go from one key to another, we may be adding one sharp or another sharp, or we may be adding or deleting a flat. We can use the circle of fifths to show us which one to add or which one to delete. Take a look at what's coming up next.
For this next part, we'll use the simpler diagram in order to illustrate what we're talking about. Excuse me. So, as I indicated, as I alluded to, we can use the circle of fifths to know which sharp and which flat is coming up next. Okay, let's check it out. Now, we already know that we're going to be starting our series with F sharp, and when it's by itself, that is to say there's only one sharp in the key signature, of course we're in the key of G major. Now, if we're going from G to D, how do we know which sharp to add? Well, let's go to our keyboard to help us. We know that we've already started with F sharp. If we want to know which sharp comes next, let's go up 1/5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Our next sharp that we're going to add after F sharp will be C sharp. It is 1 perfect fifth above F sharp. And as we see, our first sharp is F sharp, and the second one, there it is, C sharp. If we were to go one further, that is to say go to the next key upward, going from a D to an A, let's see how it works. We already have an F sharp, we already have a C sharp. Which sharp will come next? Let's do our fifths again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to be going to a G sharp. G sharp, again 1/5 higher than C sharp. And there it is. F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp. Let's go the other way. Let's say we're on the flat side of things. We're starting in our key of F major, which has B flat. Okay. So here's the B flat. We're now in the key of F. Let's say we want to go down to the next key of B flat. How do we know which is the second flat to add? Let's do the same thing again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Our next flat will be E flat. And there it is, B flat, E flat. Alright, pretty cool, huh?
So as we've seen, the circle of fifths can be an incredibly useful tool, not only for what we've looked at here, but also as a handy chart to have when harmonizing, when composing, when arranging things. It's just an all-around great, useful tool. So we've just kind of scratched the surface of what the circle of fifths can do for us. If you have any questions on what we've done here, please let me know. Either leave a comment or contact me through my website. Thanks again for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you again next time.